I'm currently a senior at a 4-year university, but this happened in my sophomore year when I was 19. For me, it was pretty hard to find someone to just casually date and get to know since I'm a bit of an introverted individual and I wasn't looking for any old hump and dump. I also went through my fair share of abusive relationships, so dating for me was really difficult when it came to opening up and trusting people. When I matched with Chris, obviously not his real name, I was pleasantly surprised. He was funny, smart, interesting college student with a decent job and good intentions. I enjoyed talking to him, but there was always a lot of anxiety when I spoke to him. I know now that I should have trusted my gut instinct, but at that time, I assumed I was doing my introverted trust issues bullshit and tried to push that feeling away. We would talk a few times a week, and every time we did, the feeling would persist. Only each time we talked, it would be stronger. He started to make comments about how he wanted me to be his girlfriend and how he was so excited for me to meet his parents. But we hadn't met yet and had only talked on and off for a few weeks at this point. Slowly, I stopped responding to some of his messages. Then I started to leave them completely unanswered. One day, I confided in my friends and told them about the bad feeling I always had while talking with Chris. They told me I wasn't being open to new experiences because I hadn't let go of my past, and that I was not being fair to him. So, reluctantly, after a few weeks of radio silence and feeling guilty, I messaged him again. Another week or two of messaging and catching up, he asked me to go out to dinner with him. I was hesitant to say yes as my anxiety was through the roof, but my friends insisted that it was just nervousness and it would be good for me to go out with someone. I agreed, and he excited me told me that he had plans to take me to a nice Japanese restaurant in the city next to my campus. My friends were ecstatic and asked to see a picture of him. I pulled up his Tinder profile, and when they swiped through the pictures, they were silent. You know, he kind of looks like your abusive ex here. I went into a full-blown panic mode. Once I saw the resemblance, there was no going back. There was no way I was going anywhere with this guy. I texted him back the night before the date and explained that I no longer felt comfortable going out and that I was sorry. He never texted me back. That same week, I started getting multiple phone calls every day from an unknown number. They would leave me voicemails that would say things like,
"Call me back, babe."
or
"Baby, where are you? Why won't you give me a chance?"
I tried ignoring them, but one day after getting almost 10 calls, I answered, ready to curse someone the fuck out. I called Chris by his name and told him to fuck off, and was met with laughter.
"This isn't Chris. This is Chef. Chris said I could have you."
He started laughing, so I hung up and immediately he called back. I sent him to voicemail.
"He said you wanted to go out with me instead. He told me what university you go to and he showed me your pictures. I'll wait on campus if I have to."
I blocked his number, and for a few more days I got few more unknown calls and voicemails detailing some pretty weird, aggressive and gross shit, but they eventually died down. I don't know if this guy was serious or maybe it was Chris getting his friend to fuck with me as a revenge for cancelling. But whatever it was, it had me looking behind me anytime I walked anywhere on campus for the rest of the summer. My roommates and I had a male friend stay with us for a while just in case. I started going back to my hometown on the weekends because I was afraid to stay on campus for too long. It's been 2 years, so I hope that in this amount of time, Chris and Jeff have learned to become better people. My friend told me this horrific story yesterday, and it has to be the scariest thing I have ever heard. So I felt like sharing it to remind everyone to stay safe and cautious. This happened to a friend not too long ago. So, This girl matched with a guy on Tinder and went on a couple of dates with him. On the first two dates, they went for coffee on walks outside. She really liked him, thought he was friendly, good looking, etc., and thought that they clicked. For the third date, the guy suggested that she should come over to his place to have some wine. She agreed because she felt safe and comfortable enough to do this at this point. So, the time comes and she goes over to his place and he pours her a glass of wine. Things seem to go well and they joke around and they enjoy a nice talk. After a while, she starts feeling funny. Now, luckily, this girl has already been roofied once before, so she immediately recognized the effects once they kicked in. She was extremely clever in this situation and pretended she was feeling fine. She told him as cheerfully and energetically as possible that she was quickly going to use the toilet, as to seem nothing was off. Once she was in the toilet, she locked the door and immediately called the police. She told them that she was trapped, locked in the toilet, and that they needed to come to get her out of there. Pretty soon, she passes out. She is awakened by the police but is still very drugged, so kind of slides in and out of consciousness. All she remembers is the police putting a bag over her head as they carry her out of there. She was saved. After a few days, she is asked to come down to the police station to give her declaration of events. After doing this, she asks whether she remembers the police putting a bag over her head correctly or if it was imagined due to the drugs or what was up with that. They tell her that they indeed put a bag over her head because they decided it would have been too traumatizing for her to see as they carried her out of there, what he had prepared and set up for her in the living room. The guy ended up in jail, and to this day she doesn't know what he had in mind for her. But it's clear that it was very messed up, an incredibly scary situation that could have ended horribly. Please, please, please always let someone know when you plan on going on a Tinder date, even if you feel safe, even if it's not your first date. Always ask a friend to call and check up on you during and after to let someone know that you're safe.